There's gonna be a lot of Champions League football in this episode. Now, if you've been here for the last two episodes, you will know that we've drawn FC Barcelona in the Champions League round of 16. And let's just say that we don't have the best history with FC Barcelona. If you watched last season's Champions League campaign, you will know why. But this time we do plan on making things different. We want to get past the round of 16. Personally, I expect this team to at least make a semi-final now, but the board expects us to reach the final. Either way though, it does mean that we have to get past Barcelona, and that is something I am willing to do. But of course, before we get to Barca, we gotta sim quite a number of games. We start off with an FA Cup fixture against Palace where we pick up a 1-1 draw. Then we move on to Chelsea in the league and pick up a 1-0 win. Then we knock on Aston Villa's door and pick up a 3-2 win. Then we face Crystal Palace again in the FA Cup and get knocked out in extra time. I played my full strength team against Palace, and seeing us lose 2-1 even in extra time was very disappointing. But you know what? I guess we can console ourselves by saying that we are still in a Premier League title race and we are top of the table. But it seems that Palace has really affected the team's confidence as we only pick up a 1-1 draw against Everton despite having 6 chances. But now the focus is on Barcelona, and I won't lie, looking into our form heading into the game, it doesn't seem like the odds are towards us. But either way, we're still gonna keep faith, we're still gonna do our best and walk into the Barca game pushing for a win. This is the team I'm trusting to beat Barcelona. Malacia starts instead of Shaw because Shaw is fatigued, and I want Malacia's pace there to counteract Rafinha. No, I won't lie, looking at the pitch, looking at the names and the faces on Barcelona's team, they have gotten a lot stronger since last time, but at the same time we have as well. So whilst I do have that little bit of confidence, a part of me is still a bit nervous facing off against this team. But to be fair, we get off to a good start as Mount dishes it to Rashford. Rashford finds Garnacho over the top, and being one-on-one against the goalkeeper, he finishes it into the right-hand side of the goal. It's a very strong start from 3 players who you could say have been the backbone of our successful season at United up to this point. And it gets even better as Mount pulls a few tricks in midfield, shimmies past his opponent, gives it to Rashford, and Rashford just powers it through Ter Stegen. 2-0 up against Barcelona just before halftime and at home. Looking at it as a betting man, it seems like things are going our way. And in the second half, the hour mark, we realized that Rashford had a goal, Garnacho had a goal, but Mount was the only one without a goal. And I must say, a sublime pass from Kamara, and even better finish from Mason Mount. And this was not the first time of the day, but Barcelona were able to break through our defense. This time it was Rafinha. And Marmadashvili shows us why we have been keeping a clean sheet against them up to this point. It's only been a month or so, but believe me when I say that he might be my favorite signing of the entire series. And I really gotta stress this, he is the main reason why Barcelona has not been seeing that many highlights in this game. And for that reason, we can call it a day against Barcelona. We get a comprehensive 3-0 win at Old Trafford. Heading into the second leg, you can't ask for anything better. Looking at the calendar, we have one more game to deal with this month. But before that, we take a look at this season's top performers and we see Garnacho, Rashford, Fernandes and Mount topping the list. And after that, we head to Bournemouth and we pick up a 3-1 win. Then we go to Brentford at the beginning of March and we only pick up a 1-1 draw. Nothing too alarming so far because we still have a decent gap between second place at 6 points, but City does have a game in hand. But with that being said, Tottenham is the next Premier League game, and whilst we may make the joke that they're not that good and I should sim it anyways, they are still Spursy and at random they can become a very good team. So yeah, I have to take this one into my own hands. So this is who I'm sending to Tottenham with the noticeable rotation of shares being put in instead of Kimpembe because we have Barcelona in 2 days and I do want Kimpembe to play in that fixture. So historically in this series, Tottenham has tended to be a very boring, very goal-lacking fixture. For some reason, they just seem to be one of the few teams that we really struggle to break down, but at the same time, we're still able to keep a good defensive formation against them. So whether or not we score against them does genuinely feel like a gamble at times. But since we are in a title race and since Man City is knocking on the door due to us dropping points a couple of weeks ago, we do need to find a way to score. And thankfully we do. It all starts with a ball from Bruno in midfield. He sends one up to Anthony, the ball bounces, he heads it over to Rashford, and with a striker on his type of form, the rest is just history. But as if it was some type of cruel joke, Spurs scores as well. They dish it to Son, and in the tightest angle you'll ever see, he just smashes it near post past our goalkeeper. But we had to keep our heads up, and we got another chance in the second half. Garnacho receives the ball, he tries to dribble inside, there's nothing there, so he tries to go across the pitch. He dishes it off to Dalot, and seeing Rashford in the box, he crosses it, Rashford controls, and he just volleys it into the near post bottom corner. And feeling very uncomfortable, we needed one more goal to seal the game, and thankfully it was a Rashford header into the top left hand corner, and that also completes his hat-trick. And just like that, we walk into London and we walk out with a 3-1 win, courtesy of a Marcus Rashford hat-trick. This will keep City at an arm's length and allow us to keep focusing on the Champions League. Speaking of which, it's going to be Barcelona in 2 days, and I'm planning on simulating this one considering that we won the first leg 3-0. And in simulating, we do pick up a 2-1 loss, but we still go through 4-2 on aggregate. But after that, we had a game against Luton Town in the Premier League, and after simulating, we picked up a decent 2-1 win. Then it was an away day at Newcastle, and in that away day, we were able to come away with a comfortable 3-0 victory. So after all of that, we are 9 points up in the Premier League, but City still does have 2 games in hand, so that could easily be 3 points up. And UEFA finally gave us the draw for the quarterfinal, and we drew Bayer Leverkusen. So after beating a pretty strong Barcelona outfit, we do face off against Leverkusen. And looking at the rest of the draws, it really could have been a lot worse. But that does now mean that we can move on to April, where we will face off against Arsenal once and then Leverkusen twice. I foolishly simulated against our boogeyman team and we lose 1-0 in the Premier League. Now coming off a loss against Crystal Palace, I probably shouldn't sim the Arsenal game, right? I did anyways and we beat them 2-0, meaning that Crystal Palace is the problem here. Then I simulate against West Ham and thanks to Garnacho we're able to beat them 1-0. But now after all of that menu work, it's time for Leverkusen. My expectations heading into the game are pretty high, especially considering the possibility of teams we could have faced off against, or should I say drawn, in this quarterfinal. I'm not saying Leverkusen's light work, I'm only saying that we're going to win. Now we don't get off to the best of starts as Leverkusen breaks through and they are able to smash it into the near post to go up 1-0. But we call upon Alejandro Garnacho and it doesn't take long for him to get us that equalizer. But Leverkusen knocks on the door again and Correa is able to give them back that lead. However, we aren't in a losing mood, so Mount, Garnacho and Rashford link up again. Mount, a ball over the top, Garnacho to cut inside, swing one to Rashford, and Rashford powers it past the Leverkusen goalkeeper. And in the 90th minute, Bruno swings one to Rashford, he breaks into the box, he takes his shot, but the goalkeeper saves it. And unfortunately, it is a 2-2 draw to end the episode. And I won't lie, that game was a lot tougher than I expected. So heading into that second leg, I'm quite nervous. But unfortunately, we're going to wait until tomorrow to find out if I can actually beat Leverkusen and book United a spot into that Champions League semi-final. So until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.